It's Heath here from pickinglessons.com. In this mandolin lesson, we're going to take a look at some really cool bluesy licks played out of the minor pentatonic scale over the top of major chords. So that's really interesting. We get a really interesting bluesy dissonant sound at times. And we're going to include the third in the pentatonic scale and have a look at the blues scale as well as part of this lesson. In the introduction there, you may have noticed that I was playing out of the C position, and these licks are actually in C, but they're all movable. So we're going to have a look at how we can move them around to different chords. We're going to take a look at how we can move the scales into different positions as well, different keys. So up first, let's have a look at the minor pentatonic scale nice and slow. The C minor pentatonic scale, starting on the flat 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so that was the pentatonic scale there played out of C. So our root note was on string 4, fret 5, there's the C. There's also the C on string 2, fret 3. So if you reposition that root note up a tone, we're in D minor now. Or if we went another tone, that would take us to E. So that pentatonic scale moves around really easy. Just find your root note on whichever string you're starting on. Okay, just before we keep going, if you go over to the website at pickinglessons.com, you're going to find the tab for the preview that I played at the start of the lesson using these licks in an example. You're going to find the worksheet that has all the scales and the licks on it. And we're going to also delve into a little bit of theory that's going to help us move these licks around and play them over different chords and why they work. Okay, pickinglessons.com. All right, so let's have a look at the pentatonic scale now, the minor pentatonic, and include the major third note. So in our C chord, the first finger there in that shape, the E note in this case on the second fret of string 3, that's what we call the major third. Now the pentatonic scale has the flat third, the minor third, the E flat. So what we're going to do is include in that minor pentatonic scale the major third as well. And we're going to use the major third as a resolving tone. So we're going to use the pentatonic scale as a way of moving around our lick, using the scale notes as passing notes and then coming back into the chord. So our first lick using that major third is going to sound really cool. So here's the minor pentatonic scale with the major third included. The C minor pentatonic scale with the inclusion of the major third, starting on the root note C. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so how we use this major third is important. We're going to use it as a resolving tone, as I mentioned. So if we have a look at the first lick, notice that I'm coming out of my minor third into the major third. I'm coming into the chord, note from the chord, and resolving. But coming out of that minor third sounds really cool, really dissonant against the chord. We bring it home, and we're resolving there to the root note. That's how we're going to go about using the minor pentatonic scale with the inclusion of that major third. A little bit further on into the lesson, we're going to look at the blues scale in a similar way and look at what passing notes we have and what notes we can resolve to from the chord. So let's take a slow play through a couple of licks that use this minor pentatonic scale and the major third. Lick number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. And variation of lick number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. All right, so again, these are in C. We're really just playing out of that minor pentatonic scale shape, but including that major third, bringing it home to our chord, which sounds really cool. So when you're improvising, you're looking to play to your chord. You're playing more so around the notes of the chord and treating the notes that don't belong to the chord as passing notes. So we're going to dive into that a little bit further, a little bit of theory to help us get going with that in the next lesson. So jump on over to pickandlessons.com. Remember, you're going to find the tab for the intro, the worksheet with these scales and licks, and the second video lesson we'll use the blues scale, 4 more licks, and we'll have a talk about the theory behind the notes in our chords and the notes in our scales and how to treat them separately and how to make them work in your improvising. Cool. Head on over to the website, pickandlessons.com. I'll see you there.